or more so beating around the bush. Joining me now is, in my honest opinion, the best Kamala Harris impressionist on the internet, creator and comedian Esty Palti. Esty, thank you so much for joining us this time.
Having me, Katie.
So let's focus on the 3-on-1 debate. The bias was pretty front and center, especially with the fact checks they kind of failed to do on Miss Harris. Your thoughts?
I mean, it was 3-on-1. Anyone you ask, that was the immediate response on Twitter. I was just looking on social media, and it's so obvious. Okay, first of all, let's start with the actual facts, right? The things that she was saying. She got checked how many times for all the lies that she said? None. So my favorite one was probably Project 2025, right? Donald Trump has come out time and time again. He explained that he has nothing to do with it. And for some reason, that doesn't matter to the Democrats. It doesn't matter if he says it. We have to take their word for something when they say something, but whatever he says has to be questioned consistently. Project 2025 is something that came out, and in my honest opinion, I think it's something that they brought out on purpose to make him look like some kind of psychopathic fascist dictator. It is completely abhorrent that they are trying to push this on the American voter when he has denounced this several times. Another, beautiful thing that she said that made absolutely no sense, that should piss off every single American, excuse my language, is that she said January 6th, the worst attack on democracy since the Civil War. She said this on September 10th, the day before September 11th, which makes zero sense to me considering how recent that was. That was a complete threat on our democracy. That was an attack on our democracy. All right. And there are still descendants from that are still alive today. There are so many people that should be furious that she would say a blatant lie like that. And again, silence from the moderators. Now, terminating the Constitution. Never have I heard Trump say anything of that. In fact, the gaslighting that this administration has consistently pushed on, it shows time and time again. The only people that are trying to cancel out the Constitution are the people like Kamala Harris, who have said time and time again that they are going to instill a buyback program, make it mandatory, take away guns. That's another lie that the moderators did not correct her on. And she had the audacity to turn to Donald Trump and say, you need to stop lying about that. You need to stop lying because me and Tim have guns. Well, if there's anything we know about Democrats, it's rules for thee and not for me. They can have all the guns in the world. They can have armed security and personnel, but they're going to scream from the rooftops that guns are dangerous and we need to ban rifles and we need to ban this and take away everyone's rights. And when the conversation has come up, I have personally heard her say, we can have that conversation. We can have the conversation of taking everyone's guns away. So big fail on the moderator's part in that aspect. Worst unemployment that we had. Well, yeah, the country was shut down. The biggest grievance that I have is probably her explaining that he's trying to tell women what to do with their bodies. Now, her argument on abortion, was well explained. However, it doesn't make any sense that that's the same person in their administration that mandated an experimental vaccine. Otherwise, millions of Americans would lose their jobs, and that's exactly what happened. Donald Trump, unfortunately, was in office during a pandemic. He handled it very well, and if he would have done a national announcement, that we're going to shut down for 2 weeks and you guys are going to mandate the vaccines, they would be calling him Adolf Hitler, him reincarnate. Okay, that's what they would have done. He gave the power back to the states, the same exact way with Roe v. Wade. So I don't understand what anybody with a half a brain can look at that debate and say that she did a good job. Yeah, she did a great job lying. She did a great job gaslighting. She did a great job explaining to everyone the exact opposite of what's happening. And because the moderators continue to have her back on that, shame on them because they are the ones that failed the American people that night.
Well, yeah, there's a bunch of reports coming out, specifically one from Breitbart saying that there's 21 false claims and hoax by her. So, like you said, it's pretty abhorrent that they didn't give the same treatment to Trump that they did Kamala. So you were also recently saying on your social media platforms how you were kind of running out of content to parody. So would you say that this debate gave you more to work with?
Oh, absolutely. Because all of a sudden we saw an ept and, a smart version of Kamala Harris for the first time. And I'm probably the only person that can say this amongst other Kamala impressionists, of course. I studied her for 3.5 years. I was genuinely running out of content because she was so repetitive. It was the same nonsense movements, the same nonsense phrases. Notice how we didn't hear anything about unburdening what has been, or any kind of word salads, or any kind of indication that she's lying when she likes to touch her face and just do this thing where she's like, No, we're just gonna have to do it. No laughter. So what does that tell you? There is a whole nother Kamala Harris hiding behind, and maybe she was that confident because somebody was whispering in her ear. I don't want to be the one to sit here and say like, oh, she was using headphones, but the word on the street is she was wearing some kind of device that was probably whispering something in her ear. I noticed she was taking some notes. Um, I definitely have a lot of content to create, but it's genuinely just mimicking a liar at this point. Nothing she said had any substance in my eyes. And I had a lot of friends and family members and even, newscasters texting me like, "Hey, what did you think about this? He's not doing really well." And I was like, if you're listening to her, then you would understand that, it's important for the American voter to not be lied to. And I think her lies were so abhorrent that people understand what's going on. She also had this cool, calm and cool collection of of herself, of her nature. Donald Trump was rightfully angry because he's passionate about what they're doing to the country. She can care less. And I think that that was very, very obvious.
And notable figures like Elon Musk have said that the future of humanity just rides on this election. So I kind of want to hear your perspective on this as a mother.
Well, look, I mean, I don't want there to be a migrant invasion. I know exactly what comes after that. I come from the former Soviet Union. We know what communism looks like. We know what living in persecution looks like. We ran from there when the USSR collapsed. It is my number one fear. As a mother right now, I don't feel comfortable with my 12-year-old walking home from school because I don't want something bad to happen to him. It has infiltrated all of our neighborhoods, and don't let the media tell you otherwise. I am terrified for her to come into office. This reckless spending, her wanting to take, defund the police and demilitarize schools, as she says. It's complete nonsense. And it angers me as a mother. Why am I paying all these taxes? For you to give it away to foreign nations and offer no protection for my child? Why are we still even living in a place called America? She would be the worst thing to happen to this country. And I hope people understand that this election is either going to make it or break it.
And so it's took some time. We're going to shift gears a little bit here, but Harris was officially endorsed by Taylor Swift, which caused a spike in support among Swifties kind of registering to vote. So why do you think she's waited this long? Why now? And what do you have to say to the future generations that are able to vote this year that might be listening to her?
Well, the people that are listening to Taylor Swift probably don't even know that Taylor Swift is in a contracted relationship, okay? This entire thing is fraudulent. I don't like that we have to always kind of look up to celebrities for any kind of advice. Taylor Swift is not relatable. She does not live in the day to day. And if you're young and you're listening, there are so many different celebrities with their own voices and opinions. She's not paying for your mortgage. She's not going to pay your taxes. She's not going to forgive your student loans. Make the right decision for your country and for yourself. Listening into a celebrity is nonsense.
Now, what does Kamala have to say to the youth?
Well, I've said this before and, I'll say it again. They're stupid. So, the more celebrities I have on payroll telling them what to do, the more I hope that we can steal the young vote. We'll steal the illegals' votes, and hopefully, when we add those together, well, we can just steal the whole thing from Donald Trump.
Oh, that's great. So you have a debate of your own coming up. So where can our viewers go to find you tonight and just in general?
In general, my handle is mommyrn88. You can find me on X. Please subscribe on my YouTube. I do have a TikTok and Instagram, but the debate is exclusively on X Spaces. Okay, it's sponsored by MAGA Meme Coin. That is the meme coin that Donald Trump is holding the most in his crypto wallet right now. It's an incredible project. We've donated millions to veterans from this project, which is why I affiliated myself with them in the first place. We are doing our second debate. The first one was just audio. We've had such a big demand, and I think it brings such beautiful levity to the situation. We make it funny, but we also poke fun at the real stuff. Please check us out. It's on X Spaces, 8 p.m. Eastern. Look up my name, mommyrn88, and I'll have all the details for you guys over there.
Amazing creator and comedian Esti Palti. We really appreciate you coming on here, and I'm looking so much forward to seeing more content from you in the future.
Stay tuned, and thank you so much for the attention. I appreciate it.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible,